We're joined by Texas Tech defensive backs CJ Baskerville. CJ, how you doing? First off,
Doing great, man. I'm glad to be here. Almost first day of fall camp. It's exciting to be here. It's the last year, new stadium or new renovations. Amazing feeling.
mentioned your last year. What's it like going into your final year of college ball? At least, what's your mentality for fall camp?
My mentality is like I don't want to, not make any decisions or do anything like I wish I would have done. So just going all in and not saying it happened before, but just going all and leaving nothing on the table. That's the only way I feel satisfied. If I do that, then the right things in the future will come.
Now, I remember going into fall camp last year. We were talking about you playing star. You played star, and they moved you to safety, and I felt like you really came on when they moved you back to safety. Your thought process through all that, and do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a position I played boundary safety over at San Diego State. It was just something I was just more familiar with, and it just with the staff, I agree with the decision, putting their players in the best position that they feel more comfortable in. So moving To to star and myself to boundary safety, it was a great decision, and I feel like I did flourish a little bit more at that position for sure, and I felt a little more comfortable. Obviously, I didn't know absolutely everything because it was in the middle of the season switch. But going into this year, I feel extremely prepared with knowing all the information and all the calls and even the checks about the boundary safety position where I need to feel fit because this position is very important. This position, the quarterback looks at it every play before every play to kind of know what coverage or what we're in. So the more I can disguise, I can help out the other 10 guys. So for me to be able to do that, I need to know what the other linebackers and D line are showing, so I can kind of tell them to show something different or kind of align where they see fit. But yeah, I'm really excited for this kind of first whole year in this position, and hope the best for it going forward.
And that's something that I feel like is not talked about enough by us media folks. Disguising your defensive coverage and what y'all are doing at pre-play. I feel like that's like half the battle in terms of the cat and mouse game. Would you agree? And how do you feel like y'all do in terms of what kind of job y'all do in doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's extremely important. If you're because nowadays, I mean, you're going against the OC now, since that OC is in the quarterback's ear now in the helmet. So now you're not just going against a quarterback, you're going to against an OC that has eyes up at the top of the field. So now it's the most important than it's ever been. But if you're able to do that, you can kind of eliminate him from making calls or telling him what we're in and telling him what to throw. So that's an extremely important variable when it comes to this. We did a lot more this past spring. Last year, we kind of implemented more as the season went on, but this year, game one, we want to be able to do it and do it in every call that's called. So it's whether it's showing one thing and going to another, or even post snap, because some of the calls you can do post snap because it's not that far to get to your spot. And if you can do a post snap, it can really mess up the QB. But it's extremely important. So I totally agree with that.
How difficult is that to do post snap on the fly like that? Though that sounds complicated to me. Oh.
Yeah, I mean it takes a lot because you have to know where your threats are. So depending on where your threats are, but sometimes like if your threats are really far, you might not be able to show. But everything if it's aligned right, and if you can do a post snap, you can get to your spot real fast, get your eyes back, it can be extremely effective. But it is hard to do because you have to acknowledge where your threats are, get to your alignment, and do your job at the same time. And you don't want to have your pre-snap or your post-snap where you are affect your job. So that's the number one rule. But if you're able to do that and do your job, it can really make a difference.
You have not new faces, but younger faces being asked to do more this season than, say, last season. Who are some of those young guys that Texas Tech fans should look for?
Yeah, I think Boom Wilcox, Javion Wilcox. I think he's really coming on from TCU. He's very serious about his work, and everybody can see that. And he's a great guy to be around. I would say Chapman Lewis. He's going to be stepping into a big role this year, and I know he didn't kind of do all of spring ball this past year, but when he's on the field, I mean, he makes stuff happen. He makes a lot of stuff happen. So I'm really excited about him, and also about the whole tandem at star with AJ McCarty and BJ Jordan. They both have a good amount of experience, so they kind of BJ's a lot better than he was last year whenever fall camp came around. So I'm really excited for him. And I think everybody's extremely excited for AJ McCarty. He's one of the most athletic on the team. I mean, that's just said it plain and simple. And I'm really excited for what we got there. And I think we have a lot of depth this year. You know, we are a little young, but we have an extreme amount of depth. And Joe Plunk is even back there with us, and he's the smartest guy in the room. Amarillo kid, but he's smart. He's smarter than me. He knows everything. He can truly play all three positions: star, boundary, and free safety. You plug him in where he fit. So I'm really excited he's in the room with me this past year. I mean, even like this, we have like this whole kind of leader thing. Like him and I kind of take control of the room because he knows everything, and I know my stuff, and so we just kind of. And it's never a problem to have two leaders in the room. So I'm really glad he's on our side.
What does that mean to you when you say take the leadership upon yourself? Like, well, what does that mean? What does that entail?
Yeah, it's both vocal and just doing things the right way. I've that's one thing I had to grow into. Just kind of growing up, I just always did what I needed to do and not really said anything about it. But being a leader, you have to be vocal. So getting more into that, just being vocal and holding guys accountable. It's not always the most comfortable thing to do. Everybody knows that, but it must be done. That's kind of what I think it means. And obviously, like, you want a leader that's on the field and making plays, because you want to be able to look out and see, like, that's y'all's leader being doing this and that. So I think just really putting yourself in positions to make plays and always doing the right thing, can really set the bar for guys.
We talked a lot about on the field stuff. You wrote down some great stuff, X's and O's, but what about off the field? What was your first year in Lubbock like for you?
I mean, I love it. I love Lubbock. I mean, I truly do. I know I came from San Diego, but Lubbock is better than San Diego. Yeah, I'm telling you, like I had mentally, I was the happiest. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
And it's like if you took away the whole football side of things, I mean, I'm not just saying it's a great town. Like, I know I live 4.5 hours away, but I rarely kind of went home because like I had everything here, and I had I made the greatest friends here, like lifelong friends here, and I absolutely love it here. I mean, it's just everything's here, and it's just nice to you walk around, you talk to people who kind of recognize you, and I talk to everybody, and it's just a nice town. You can get whatever you want here, and it's kind of like a diamond in the rough as I see it. Not everybody wants to go out west all the way, but I'm extremely glad I'm here.
And then EA Sports College Football, I got to ask you, do you play?
I haven't even downloaded the code yet.
Oh, wow. You're the first player I talked to.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I haven't even downloaded the code yet because, I mean, I'll play with guys when we go to somebody's house and we'll have it up. I'll play there. But I just kind of been really locked in. I know if I download that code, then, like, if we got off a fall camp, we'll be playing it that night. So I'm not touching the code maybe until the bye week, or even if not, I'll probably just give it to, just give it to somebody. But I just knew I would get on it. If during fall camp, if I download the game, so I don't plan on downloading it at any point time soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what did you think about? What was your first reaction when you saw the new Adidas uniforms?
I mean, they're just perfect in my eyes. Like I had the all white on, and it just felt just perfect. I mean, they definitely delivered with all that, and we have some great combos, and everything just goes together. It's just something makes it look like that Adidas was supposed to be with us. So
yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about football a lot, and we have general information about you. But who is CJ Baskerville for Texas Tech fans to know? Like, who are you? Away from football, your upbringing, where you're from, your family, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, I've kind of been all over the state of Texas. I lived in Katy for 16 years. Both my brothers graduated from Katy. I did 2 years over at Katy High School, and my dad, he got the associate superintendent job at Burville ISD. So we moved up there, and I did my last 2 years up there, and we currently reside in Trophy Club, Texas. Finished my 2 years out there, and then I got over to San Diego State. I was feeling, I wanted to kind of go back to Texas, and gladly I ended up here. It's just at a family standpoint. My mom's name is Sharon Baskerville. My dad is Skip Baskerville. My mom's a teacher at Richland High School, and then my oldest brother Trey, who's 27, he's a teacher and coach at Richland High School. And then Chandler, he's 24. He works for Burns McDonald. He's a field scientist for them. So he's the bar is set high in our family, and that's just how everything is. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I got a dog. Probably got a year ago, maybe after the week of the Tarleton game. After I injured my wrist against Wyoming, I lived alone at the time, so I'm a big dog person. We got like a Great Dane and a Rhodesian Ridgeback at home, so we have some big dogs, and I wanted a dog. So after I got hurt, I was like, I really need a buddy. So I went and got a Thai Ridgeback and Chow Chow mix. He's pretty cool looking, but my favorite athlete of all time is LeBron James. So I named my dog Braun.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that's just kind of it. But what I do outside of football, I mean, the guys kind of got me into golfing. So golfing is really kind of what this past summer, we've all kind of got memberships and stuff, Rawls here and there. And we just kind of been golfing and just kicking it. So I just like golf, kicking with friends, and I mean, hanging out with my dog, man. That's really it.
All right. CJ Baskerville, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.